I had so many plans with this 2003 Honda Accord EX. My plan was actually to convert it rear-wheel drive using an S2000 transmission, AP1, rear diff, rear subframe, and front subframe. Those plans kind of changed. I have a family member that's in need of a vehicle, so I'm gonna put the original K24A4 back in the Accord, get it up and running by this week, and donate it. Let's just get some work done. Let's try to find all the pieces for that Accord and see if we can get everything together so we can complete this drop-in. Let's go. I gotta get all the pieces together for this Accord, and I have to track them down. Some of them may be in the trunk of the car, so I'm gonna lower it, see if I find some stuff back there, and then get everything together, check out the engine that I took out, make sure I can rotate it without any issues while it's on the stand. Make sure it didn't have any water in it, because I did pressure wash it. At one point, I did tape up everything, but that didn't go so well. So I wanna make sure it doesn't have any water in there. Probably stick a snake camera in and see what it has. Coming down. So here's the good news. So as you can see, everything's still intact. I have the rear engine mount bracket. I have the exhaust still in there. I have all the wiring, all the hoses, everything is original. Nothing is broken. I have this front engine mount, the side mount over here. Everything looks okay. The original problem with this car was that I actually had a buddy of mine that used to own it, and when he purchased this vehicle, I think a week or two after owning it, if I'm not mistaken, the transmission went on it. And looks like one of the gears got fused together. I can't remember which gear it was. I wanna say it was 3 and 4. We took out the transmission, we never got it fixed. The car just sat idle. So, it sat at my house for a while because we were gonna work on it here, and nothing ever happened, so I offered to buy it from him. And my plan was to do an S2000 rear-wheel drive conversion on it. But I have a family member that actually needs the vehicle, so I have a new transmission for it, an original K24A4 manual. This is a 5-speed. And we're gonna drop that in there, and it should start right up, assuming we don't have any issues, assuming the engine didn't lock up or anything from sitting outside of the car and in the car for 2 to 3 years. So let's check things out. I don't care what anybody tells you. Never work under a vehicle, especially if you're by yourself, without those underhoists. It only takes one time for a car to fall off the lift and kill you. Granted, yeah, if you put it up the right way, you secure it and you check for balancing, which I did. I know you're not gonna see it here on this video, but I did. As long as you do all of that, the vehicle should never fall off. And also, don't be an idiot and tug on the damn car when you're underneath it trying to take anything off. Do it right. If a bolt is too tight, use something that'll let you have some more leverage so that you don't have to tug on the vehicle as much, because that is when accidents happen. And to avoid that, you also want to work with an underhoist, because if it falls, you're dead, and you'll tell yourself, shit, I am dead. And there are no takebacks. Here's my body, and here's me looking over my body. And I can't have a do-over, because I'm dead. Guess I should have put up that Honda hoist. But hey, you want to die? You die. You do it. Not me. All right, so here she is. A24A4, original engine of the Accord 2003. Everything is still on here. Everything should work. Everything was working when we took this engine out. We have the power steering pump, alternator, AC compressor. We have thermostat, water pump should be good. Though I don't know when was the last time this was ever changed. And well, time to check if it spins. Doing was taking all the spark plugs out and then putting the snake camera in each of the cylinders and rotating the engine. It rotates smoothly. It still has oil in it. I never took the oil out just to sort of preserve the cylinder walls from rusting or prevent them from rusting. And I was gonna take the valve cover off, but it has never been taken off. There are absolutely 0 leaks on the valve cover. So I wanna keep it that way. So the gasket, the valve cover gasket still seems like it's in great condition. But the spark plugs, so they're in pretty bad shape. They have about 180 something thousand miles on them. I'm gonna change those out. Water pumps looks good. Probably change out the accessory belts. Timing chain should be good. That's the good thing about the K series. It has a timing chain as opposed to a timing belt. I put the snake camera in, rotated each of the cylinders, waited for the cylinder to come up top dead center. And I saw no signs of water, no moisture in there. I think we're good. I'm gonna now just put everything back together, including these spark plugs, and I'll change those once I can get the engine started. So let's make sure it starts up first and then we can give it a good tune-up. We have good news. And the good news is that I found all the parts, and thank goodness that when we were taking this stuff out, JR was kind enough to organize the bolts. I usually do a good job of that. I just wasn't sure if anything was labeled or put away the right way. And I found all of the parts that we need. As you can see here, we have all of the actual mounts, brackets. We have bolts for the mounts. We have the starter. Probably have to test that starter, make sure it can still spin. Looks a bit rusted. So we'll see how that goes. We got the clutch, but the clutch is in very bad shape. So yeah, there's really nothing else I can do for today other than to just order the remaining parts, which are literally just the gasket for the intake manifold and for the exhaust manifold. I have all the other parts. There's not much I can do other than just wait at this point. So I guess I'll share whatever else I have whenever I get back on this camera and show you what other stuff we're gonna put together on this. But for now, as you know, 2003 Accord is going back together with the original engine. No more rear wheel drive project, but since I do have those subframes, rear and front subframe, including the rear differential and S2000 transmission, all AP1, I have those for sale, but if they don't actually get sold, my plan is to keep it on the side for as long as I can. I don't have much space, which is why I really wanted to get rid of it, because my shop is absolutely tiny. But if no one ends up buying it, what I'll end up doing is seeing if I can pick up another hatch and work on a rear wheel drive project. But for now, the hatch that I have now, the DX 2000, the EJ6, that's going to get converted to all-wheel drive. That's my first plan with that. And hopefully get another hatch down the road and maybe convert it to rear wheel drive if I still have those parts. So until then, stay tuned. See ya. Okay, so back at it, day 2. Got all the parts in. Got the new clutch disc, pressure plate, new throwout bearing, alignment tool, new flywheel, the exhaust gasket, and the intake manifold gasket. We should be able to put this back together. If we don't run out of time tonight, what we can do is actually take it off of the stand, put it on the table lift. Once we have it on the table lift, we can bolt the transmission to it. So let's get that going and see how far we can get. Transmission in, got the clutch, flywheel bolted down, had to torque those. Took the time to put the intake manifold back with this new gasket, put the hoses back on. New throwout bearing is set, fork is set, greased it up. You have to grease the input shaft, you have to grease the spline, and also the throwout bearing. That's pretty much it, I think. So all that's in place, this is ready to go. Tomorrow, we're gonna take the time to put this back up on the car. I know you can't see it, but it's on the lift. That's it. I think we're ready for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Put it in, connect everything up. So yeah, catch us tomorrow.